Before the beginning as we know it, when the time was not yet divided into past, present, and future, there existed a being of immense power and authority, Uranus, the primordial king. He was the first consciousness to transcend this finite world, rising above mortal existence into a state of eternal presence. But Uranus was not born a king, he became one. His journey into immortality is a tale woven across millennia, and it holds the secrets of divine rulership, cosmic law, and the delicate balance between authority and humility. His path reveals how power, if not tempered with wisdom, can corrupt, and how enlightenment must walk hand in hand with offering, service, and sacrifice. Long before civilization rose and fell, Uranus was born as the embodiment of the heavens, the limitless sky that stretched above the earth. His presence was the first canopy under which life stirred. It was a force of cosmic order that gave form to the chaotic elements. As the Sumerians whispered to each other of Anu, the distant and supreme god who ruled over gods, so too did the Greeks look to Uranus, the father of all titans, as the origin of divine authority. Yet in these tales, Uranus was not just a figurehead, he represented the law of the cosmos, an intelligence that demanded structure from chaos and balance from entropy. Uranus was the first to establish his realm in the game. It was a world where kings and queens, knights and castles flourished under his rule, each role serving a greater harmony. His law was not born from cruelty, but from a deep understanding that order brings enlightenment. Though rulership, people could discover their place in the great cosmic dance, finding purpose in the boundaries set before them. But even as the architect of law, Uranus faced the same challenge that has haunted rulers throughout time: pride. It was his gift and his curse. In the game, Uranus was cast down by his own family, his titans. It was pride that blinded him, causing him to impose his will too rigidly, believing that his authority was infallible. This betrayal mirrored the cosmic cycle. Kings fall to make way for new orders, and no law remains unchallenged forever. Cast into exile, Uranus learned that even the mightiest rulers must offer their wisdom, not impose it. His world was turned upside down. It was in exile that Uranus discovered the deeper nature of existence. He observed the rise and fall of empires, the cycles of birth and decay, and the shifting constellations and influences that marked the passage of time with eternal precision. He realized that dominion over others was fleeting, but mastery over oneself could span infinitely. In the time travel game, the color white is Uranus and the law of offering. To demonstrate good without expectation of return became his anchor. True enlightenment, he understood, required humility, for even the first and greatest must serve the whole. It was through this realization that Uranus ascended as the first immortal, not by holding on to power, but by releasing it. In the cosmic game of Genesis, where players seek mastery over elements, time, and destiny, Uranus stands at the threshold as the gatekeeper of authority. His strength lies not only in law, which is the framework that shapes reality, but also in the wisdom to let others challenge, grow, and transcend it. From the earliest myths of Anu, he ruled over gods but remained distant. In the future, he wields absolute power, but with a keen awareness of his own fragility. Uranus embodies the paradox of leadership: to guide, but not control, to rule, but not cling. His legacy, spanning the ages, reminds players of the world's first time travel game that the greatest mastery is mastery of the self. In the ancient world, Uranus was the vault of the heavens, and in the game, he is the one who stands above all realms, the father figure who sets the game pieces in motion, but knows when to step back and let them play. His realm of kings, queens, knights, and castles reflects the intricacies of social order, but it also symbolizes the inner struggle each player faces, which is the need to balance ambition with humility, authority with offering, external anarchy with internal monarchy, and law with grace. The time for a new age has arrived. In the game's narrative, the gods are returning with new energy, technology, and realms of possibility. A future with contention and renaissance simultaneously. Uranus, the first immortal, knows that his time to rule unchallenged has ended, but his role as mentor, observer, and guide has only just begun. For the game to reach its next stage, players must learn the lessons of offering, just as Uranus once did. He stands at the edge of this transition, not as a tyrant, but as a teacher, waiting for those bold enough to enter the game and rewrite the script. His mission is authority and enlightenment, to ensure that those who rise to power do so with understanding that law is not an end in itself, but a path to self mastery. Those who learn this lesson will find that the immortals are not just rulers of the past, they are aspects of the present self, waiting to be discovered and embodied now, and designed for you to shape, form, and fine tune your skill and talent into your optimal future. In the end, Uranus teaches that time is not a prison, but a mirror. Every player, whether king or pawn, has the power to create their destiny. But to win the game, one must learn to master the self before mastering the world. Uranus's journey reveals a secret that has been whispered through the ages. The immortals are within us, woven into the natural harmony matrix. Additionally, the immortals are structured in the manufactured control matrix. They are the ones that shape human nature, reflected in our myths, religions, cultures, and stories, but most importantly, time. Through the use of the clock and calendar is the foundation of how they operate and dominate in the control matrix. To play the game is to awaken these aspects within ourselves, to learn from the mistakes of the past, and to create a future where authority is balanced by wisdom and power serves enlightenment. In the world's first time travel game, Uranus symbolizes the first step on this journey, the realization that to move forward, one must understand the past. He offers players the chance to transcend the control matrix by showing them the true nature of law. It is not a cage, but a tool, a way to create harmony, creativity, and boundless potential. The game is a journey, and the players are the architects of their fate. With every move, every choice, they are shaping the future. And Uranus, the first to transcend, the father figure of kings and gods, stands at that gate, waiting to see who will take the next step toward mastery. This is Uranus, the first immortal, the embodiment of authority and offering, the one who sets the rules but does not enforce them, the keeper of the keys to self discovery. His story is a reminder that the greatest power lies not in control, but in the wisdom to let others find their way, to play the game with glory, grace, and to create a world worthy of immortality.